Tom Rosenstiel is the founder and director of the renowned Project for Excellence in Journalism. As part of the Pew Research Center in Washington, D.C., the nonprofit organization explores the state of American media. The annual State of the News Media report is considered one of the most important chronicles of the US newspaper crisis. Nevertheless, does Rosenstiel also see opportunities after the crisis?
I have worries about that. Newsrooms are shrinking as their financial situation becomes more difficult. They're cutting back on staffing. They're losing reporters. They're losing, most often, their most senior, their most expensive reporters. And so what we call the institutional memory of newsrooms, the people who know their beats the best, the people who know the communities, people who know when the mayor says this, that's not actually true, that's not what happened. The people who are best able to detect lies, those people are leaving newsrooms. If I had to generalize about the state of journalism across media, I would say that as the press is becoming more focused on continuous, instantaneous news and is doing so with smaller newsrooms, the press is becoming more of an enabler and a stenographer and less of a proactive force that is turning over rocks, that is demonstrating enterprise, and that is able to say, no, that's not what is going on. It's interesting. The elements of journalism, the core values and principles of journalism didn't come from universities or out of lofty theories that were developed by intellectuals. They came from the street. They came from newspaper people, often people who were not well educated. In many cases, the great American newspaper publishers were immigrants who were producing a kind of literature for the common person. And the notion of accuracy, verification, nonpartisanship, independence, monitoring power, speaking truth to power and giving voice to the common man. These things developed because they sold. They made those newspapers more popular. So they came out of the marketplace and the street. And I don't think those things are changing because I think they are a function of what people need from the news. And I think that in many ways what people need from the news is more acute at a time when information is plentiful, but there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of lies. And what people want to know is, what here can I believe? Help me make sense of these things and help me save time so I don't have to sift through all of these things. In an environment like that, like the one we see today, good journalism is more valuable than it's ever been. I think we have to be unafraid to fail. They need to experiment. In the newspaper business, it's been such a profitable and easy business for so long that if you tried something and it didn't work, you didn't try anything for a year or two because you were stung by failure in a culture that was unaccustomed to it. So the first thing I would say is encourage experimentation, encourage failure. Don't try one thing, try 10, because 7 will probably fail. And if you don't do this, you will not compete with the entrepreneurs who are entering this field. The second thing I would say is do not be platform agnostic, as people like to say today. You need to be platform orthodox. You need to believe that the internet is the future and that it is a superior medium for delivering the news. I have a program I do in which I talk about if you cover the news in print, you can have 6 elements in your coverage. Online, you can cover the same event and you have 56 elements that you can bring to the coverage. People from the legacy media have to become believers. And the third thing I would say is that they have to believe in the news. They have to decide in the same way that their forebears did 100 years ago that journalism is a revolutionary activity, that it inspires democracy, it creates citizens. If you operate today like a mature, careful industry, you will fail. Journalism is, its great crisis is that it's both an emerging industry and a dying industry at the same time. And to survive, you have to decide which of these styles are you going to operate in. The cautious, mature industry that's managing pennies, or the emerging industry, the Silicon Valley startup that's trying 50 things and believes passionately, even against all good reason, that this is going to happen. It's the startup that's going to survive. It's going to prevail. Probably not all of them. But if you don't do that, I don't think you have a chance.